and welcome to a very noisy Doncaster where another capacity crowd have packed themselves into the dome towards week 4 of the Premier League Snooker. 4 players on show tonight, but 10 in all competing for one of the top prizes in the snooker calendar. They are Mark Williams, John Higgins, Junhui, Neil Robertson, Ali Carter, Sean Murphy, Judd Trump, Matthew Stevens and Jimmy White, who will all be hoping to get their hands on Ronnie O'Sullivan's title. This is how they line up tonight. The Rocket, defending champion, in action first up against Matthew Stevens, and next up Junhui, who was involved in a wonderful match last week, taking on Ali Carter, making his debut in this season's Premier League. And then obviously we finish up with the winners from both of those semis meeting in the final. Hello, good to see you. Only week 4, but already it's looking very difficult to predict a winner in this season's Premier League. Willie Thorne joins me. It's your first outing as well in the Premier League. New format, new players, 10 instead of 7. What have you made of it so far?
Well, I've been enjoying watching it, and the key thing is all tournament winners are here in this event. 10 of them, as you rightly say, and I think that's completely different. And the fact now we're points per frames, and that's why Matthew Stevens has got such a great start, won 3-0 and 3-0, hence being top of the league. So it's important to get a quick start.
He has had a great start, Matthew Stevens, as well. We can see him top of the league now with 6 points. Mark Williams has also won a week in the Premier League, as has Neil Robertson. Sean Murphy yet to win one, but as Willie just said, points make prizes, hence him being in 4th spot. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion, down in 7th place. I'm guessing, Willie, by the end of the Premier League, he probably won't be there.
Well, everybody would expect Ronnie to be in the top 4, wouldn't they, and a possible winner of this tournament. This format really suits Ronnie. He's one of those players that likes to get on with it. And in fairness, all the players in the league this year are very, very quick players. You know, even the players like Jimmy White, who's qualified and things like that. We all know how quick Jimmy is over the years. So I don't think this format will not suit anybody. It's a format that suits everybody.
It's a tough match for Matthew Stevens. There are no easy matches in the Premier League, but a tough match for him. Let's see what the bookies make of him in that one, and if they fancy him. Obviously not Ronnie, defending champion, 5-2 on. You have to put 5 on to win 2. 2-1 you can get for your money for Matthew Stevens. Willie, what do you make of that?
Well, that's just because it's the best of 5. That's the reason they bet like that. If it was the best of 11 or 15 or whatever, Ronnie O'Sullivan would be a lot bigger odds on, and probably be 2-7. So in this format, I think 2-1 Stevens is a fair bet.
Okay, and Junhui, who was, as I said, a wonderful match against Sean Murphy last week. The lowest break in their 5 frames was 80, would you believe? 2-1 on for Ding and Ali Carter. 13-8.
Ali's not played very well in the tournaments that have been so far. They've been playing a few tournaments abroad. He's not yet got his form going. We know he's one of the greatest players in the world, Ali Carter, but I'm a big fan of Junhui. I think he can win any tournament he plays in. Okay,
I know you want to rush off and finish your hair, so I'll let you go. Time to meet the players, as always, introduced by our MC, Mr. John McDonald. I couldn't resist it, sorry. First up, Matthew Stevens.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome. We're coming to you live from the Dome in Doncaster. It's the PartyPoker.com Premier League Snooker, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. We're live here on Sky Sports HD. A 20-second shot clock. The referee is Mr. Paul Collier. It's now time to meet our players. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the pride of Wales, Matthew Stevens!
Matthew Stevens, your second outing in this season's Premier League. Your first one, you played 6 frames. You won all 6. You won that night as well. You didn't concede a frame. Not a bad start.
Yeah, it can only get worse, can't it?
Or level. Hey, I don't know if you worked it out, and the format has changed this year, so every time you win a frame, you get a point. Not mathematically, but very close to it. If you were to win tonight and get those extra 6 points, 6 frames, your chances of qualification are huge.
I'm not sure why. You don't really look at it. You just play each match as it comes. You know, they're all tough matches, especially tonight against Ronnie, you know, because he's won this tournament about 55 times, I think, so it's going to be tough. No, you just play every match, you know, like I said, every match is tough, and just do your best.
I asked when we had week 1 of the Premier League and the new format, semis and finals, if it feels like a semi and it feels like a final. Most players said it did. From a confidence point of view, is there any difference between winning an evening here in the Premier League to winning, say, a ranking event or PTC?
I don't know, I haven't won the ranking event for that long. But
You can remember the UK, surely.
God, it's still 8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
so, no, but, no, I won my opening week, which was obviously great. It's nice to know that I can compete with the top boys still after being in the doldrums for so long. But, no, I'm enjoying my snooker again, and I just like to be competing against top players.
Because it is the race to 3, do you approach a game like this differently?
Yeah, with the shot clock, it's tough, but I think it actually takes your mind off play and you just get on with the game, and that's what I tend to do in practice. But over the last few years, maybe when I get in situations it takes too long. But in this event, when you only got 20 seconds, you just tend to play a game, and hopefully, like the first week it went all right, and hopefully it will do tonight.
And playing the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, it's usually quite quiet when he's out here. Does that bother you, the noise the crowd make?
Yeah, well, Ronnie, he's different class, There's only a couple of players I'd paid to watch, and I think he's one of them, and love the way he plays, and love playing him every time I play.
Should be a good game. Best of luck. Matthew Stevens, everyone. Thanks, Matt. Matt's opponent is the Rocket.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's from Essex. He's the 3 times champion of the world. He is the reigning and defending Premier League champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Matthew Stevens, your opponent tonight, plays a similar game to you. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it. Matthew's a great player, and I think Stephen Hendry said it the other day over at dinner. He said he's the most underachieved player he's known. He said he's got so much ability, but yeah, he's a class player.
Your second appearance in the Premier League didn't go as planned, obviously, the first time you were playing. You're 7th in the league, too early to call it. But new format, new points make prizes, etc., etc. 10 players instead of 7. Do you personally think that you're going to find it more difficult to get to the finals weekend?
Well, I mean, listen, it wasn't an ideal start, but, you just need to win. Whatever format it is, whatever distance it is, it's we all know the rules of the game, and, you just got to win matches, whatever format it is. So, you just got to have that mentality when you play. And everything else should take care of itself.
I don't want to make you feel too old, but next year is your 20th year as a pro. I know, it only seems like yesterday. Are there any boxes still left to tick, Ron?
There's always boxes to tick. Whether I tick them or not, that's another thing. But I'll keep playing as long as I'm enjoying it, and that's the main thing.
Always a pleasure. Best of luck. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. Time to hand over to our boys in the box, and they are Mike Hallett and the wonderful Phil Yates.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, the South Yorkshire Riviera today, and broken sun outside and broken quality indoors. Night number 4 of the partypoker.com Premier League snooker, and there's no one better than the player breaking off. He is the epitome of entertainment, Mike.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this one, though. Both very attacking players.
Ronnie said it himself there, not the ideal start he made. He's under pressure in this match. If he were to lose another semi-final, he'd go into his last couple of engagements in the qualifying section of this tournament with his back squarely against the wall.
Good shot there. Certainly opened up the reds. Ronnie, just have a look at this red on the left-hand side here. He might be able to drop this in for the black, actually. It's on.
Time extension?
Yes, he's taken a time extension as well. But I think he will be having a go at this one. The black is available. Great pot. Stroke to them.
1.
As we've mentioned already, Ronnie knows that he needs points tonight. He's a slightly wounded animal so far in the Premier League, so we're expecting a lot of him this evening.
8.
Yes, it's called the Premier League over the last decade. It could be called the Ronnie O'Sullivan benefit. Since the shot clock was introduced in 2005, he's won this tournament 6 out of 7 attempts.
Well, just a touch hard there with the cue ball, if anything. Might have to go down for the pink or the blue here. Oh, he's played a little cannon into the black to leave it to the middle. Well, that's the red that's on the black spot. That's the problem at the moment. No, he doesn't want this straight. He needs some angle to get out for the black again.
22.
Well, there's not much there. Well, he's played on the black to the right centre. I'd like to have been a little bit closer to it than this. This is not guaranteed, although evidence is cueing well. Well, there you go.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 23.
And just that uncomfortable distance away from it. Dead straight, no problem. But from that angle, it was missable.
And I think the black coming back off the left-hand jaw of the middle pocket and just nudging the cue ball down the table has done O'Sullivan a big favour.
Well, he caught that one on the thick side. Lucky to find the gap with the cue ball, but as you can see, the red's gone down the table, but I think he's been very fortunate. He might have covered that red. Well, a smile from Matthew says yes, he has.
Well, it's a conventional snooker, I think, on one red. A Chinese snooker, certainly, on the rest of them.
Cushion first, trying to get it safe. Yeah, Ronnie was a little fortunate there. I think he'll be having a go at this one. He can get onto one of the baulk colours. Great shot.
1.
Mike, you've played at the very highest level. You'll appreciate that, as you said there. Great shot. He just hit it so sweetly. He made a difficult shot look so easy.
Well, he does, because, you know, he's got a Rolls-Royce cue action, and like Stephen Lee, Stephen Hendry and Mark Williams, you know, he gets through the ball so well. I mean, the evidence of that opening red that he got into the left corner.
4.
He's worked on that. It just didn't come. He had the talent to begin with, but he's worked on that cue action over the years. And if there's one guy you want to take lessons from, or, you know, how to cue the cue ball, this is the man.
He's so coordinated, always has been. When he first turned pro in the summer of 1992, played a succession of qualifying matches up at Blackpool. I remember one morning, he wasn't involved in a match that day. We went to play golf at the local course and stood on the first tee, boom, one up the fairway, 250 yards with a little bit of draw. Hadn't played golf for a month. He's just a natural when it comes to hand-eye coordination.
12.
He's not unbeatable, but when he really turns it on, you just sit and admire.
18. 19.
Won't be too happy with that one. He's just bang in the middle there between pink and black. I think he intended to be on the straighter black than this. He's had a quick look at the pink, but I think he'll take the black. Well, he got right in behind the red there. He was hoping just come away from that cushion slightly with the cue ball.
26.
When he was on the verge of winning his first World Championship in the final frame, he missed a red like this. But it doesn't happen very often.
Well, he's making hard work of this because he's not quite been in the correct position with that cue ball so far. But that's better.
$33. $34. $39.
Well, should win the opening frame here from this position.
40.
And we're already snookers required here for Matthew. Yeah, Ronnie got away with that red slightly, where the one he took down the table and he snookered Matthew with the green.
47.
But once Ronnie got the chance, well, he's taken it with both hands here.
Well, we're just across the road from Doncaster Racecourse, and Snooker's ultimate thoroughbred is quick out of the gate. He leads Stevens 1-0. Ronnie is in Donny, and he's made a good start against Matthew Stevens. O'Sullivan leading 1-0. The second semi-final tonight, it's Junhui against Ali Carter, and then of course a best of 5 frame final to cap things up here at the Dome.
Second frame, Matthew Stevens to break.
Super crowd here, as it was in Motherwell last week. The partypoker.com Premier League snooker really heating up.
Good break off there. Could have done with that cue ball tight to the cushion. I think there's a chance here for Matthew. This red on the right hand side is available, both of them. Well, you can see he came right across that one. Could have been worse.
Well, O'Sullivan can't complain, got away with a couple of misses in the first frame. This time it's Stevens' turn.
He still has this red to the left corner though. He might just be able to stay on the black here. Looks good. Well, a touch harder, that might have stayed up.
Not just the pot, Mike, but he held the cue ball so well.
Well, again, you know, the stroke of the ball in, he got through it well. The backspin held the white for the black. And he could be away again here.
Eight. Nine. 16. 17.
Still one or two loose reds here. There's one I think we had available just left of the pink spot.
I think one point we have to make, Mike, is that we talk a lot about the shot clock in the Premier League,
24.
but for Ronnie O'Sullivan, this is normal snooker.
Exactly. It doesn't count to him, does it? It's like Matthew had made a good point there. If you forget about the shot clock and just carry on with your game, and I think that's been probably a plus for the players. All the players in this league this year are pretty quick players, as Willie mentioned. Obviously, there's situations where you have to take time and time extensions are required, but overall, I don't think it affects his game one bit. He's got a fast snooker brain, we know that. He's very quick at weighing everything up, and then he gets on with it. Well, again, that's a great shot. Backspin inside. Minimum effort, maximum effect.
39.
Just under hit that one slightly, so you watch the replay. Well, he's had a look at the green, and I think he might play pink or blue here. But
Time extension.
he's taken another time extension.
Yes, both players are allowed 2 per match. That was the first one taken by O'Sullivan. Stevens has still got 2 up his sleeve.
He's taken the green then. Well, he's not bad.
42.
Has a red to the left middle here, and I think he can get back for the black. And the red's just nicely open now.
43.
It's been a good week for the O'Sullivan snooker clan. Ronnie's cousin Maria Catalano
50.
ended the 90-match unbeaten run of Rhiann Evans in women's snooker
51.
recently. And then she went on to win the tournament, the Northern Championship, which is held right here in Yorkshire.
$58. 59.
Still needs a couple of reds here to make this second frame safe.
66.
This is not perfect. Great shot. Just make sure the pot and let the rest happen. Well, he'll win the frame from here now. And really, Matthew hasn't had a chance. He was snookered on that green in the first.
72.
Ronnie capitalised this one. He's had to sit this one out also.
73.
Frame time 6.5 minutes.
79. 80.
Well, Ronnie coming here knew that he had to get something out of this evening, and he's in the mood.
87. $94.
Oh, what a pity. Denied a century break. But he's 94, transports Ronnie O'Sullivan 2-0 ahead. He looks in very good nick. Snooker so far here in Doncaster. It's night 4 of the partypoker.com Premier League Snooker. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the defending champion, leads Matthew Stevens 2-0 in our first best-of-5 frame semi-final. Then it's Ding against Ali Carter, who makes his debut in this year's event. Next up. A 3-0 victory, Mike, for Ronnie O'Sullivan here would be precisely what the doctor ordered.
Certainly would. Well, Matthew's got to do something here, but he's got his back to the wall, but he's hardly had any table time at all. Chance here. Great shot.
1.
When he won the Championship League down at Crondon Park Golf Club in Essex back in March to qualify for the Premier League again, he told me that he was really looking forward to those big nights in the venues that are packed out with people and guaranteed to be playing top-class opposition. Well, this night fits that bill.
4.
Well, he's not perfect on yellow or green here, and I'm not quite sure where the next red's coming from. There's nothing loose on either side of the pack. He needed an angle on something to get into them. Green looks straight, so does the yellow. Trying to disturb something. Oh, you got a tracer side on there. You saw that react off the second cushion. Yeah, nowhere. So just a safety.
Matthew Stevens, 8.
Tried the thin contact, made no contact whatsoever.
At the miss. Matthew Stevens, 4.
Yeah, Matthew didn't take up the option of the miss there because he knew that Ronnie could play the same shot, get a thin contact and put him in trouble. But good distance there with the cue ball. Oh, caught the red on the thin side. And again, he's been a little bit lucky. I think there's only this red on the left-hand side here available. Don't think there's anything to the right side, no. Well, the best red here is the one down the cushion.
And we know, Mike, Matthew Stevens not best friends with the rest.
He might take this one on the right-hand side, right of the pink actually, but it's a thin cut. Overdid it. Well, Matthew hasn't settled, but he hasn't had the time to settle. That was a half chance, couldn't take it. He might be punished.
At this level, the most important luck you can have on a consistent basis is that when you miss, you don't leave anything on. And O'Sullivan's had that in the first frame, and he's had it here. At least in this case, nothing easy.
6.
And in these short matches as well, you must get in early and try to settle.
Andy Goldstein was making the point that O'Sullivan's coming up to his 20th year as a professional. Can't quite reach these kind of shots quite so easily as he used to.
15.
But he's still pretty agile.
$22. 23.
Well, for me, he just left that cue ball a little bit on the low side there on the black. Had to force it, but he's on nothing there. Well, this will be a fine cut down the cushion. But he's got Matthew on the ropes here a little bit, and he should keep him there.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
That was a correct shot. He's in command. Keep the pressure on. He's just flicked that red now. Well, he's put one over either corner, I should say. Well, he's covered one, but not the other one.
O'Sullivan made contact with the cue ball there and knew immediately he'd hit it absolutely on the button.
This has been pretty dominant.
7.
He's lost the cue ball there a little. They're always tricky, those reds, Phil, when they're right in the pocket and the jaws, just to calculate the speed off the cushions, whether it be the top cushion or the side cushion. No, they 50% go wrong as well as 50% go right. He's taken the blue one. Oh, great shot. He's in a determined mood.
At his best, no one's
13.
potted recovery blues like O'Sullivan. And then he misses the red, but again, doesn't
13.
leave it.
He's had one or two. Still plenty on there for Matthew. He's just got to stick in there and see if he gets the chance. He's covered things on the right hand side. He's thinking about on the red on the top cushion. He's clipped it. We're playing it that way. He was bound to leave the one to the middle. This is a chance. It's a half chance.
Half chance and basically half a pocket.
Time extension.
Calling for the time extension. Really had to there.
Well, that's purely a lack of table time. Wasn't too close there. Well, on the thin side, he's caught the middle knuckle. Well, this frame could be over as well.
O'Sullivan has got so much talent tonight. He's got application as well. And when you throw into the mix a little bit of good fortune, it's pretty unstoppable.
6.
Played on the red near the pink, but it's just pinged off that top cushion a little. He's on this one near the corner though.
That
also was a big bounce. Don't think it had finished there. Thought he might be on the blue.
This match in progress for less
13.
than half an hour, and it's just about, you would think, to be coming to its conclusion.
Oh, great shot.
One more red would leave Stevens requiring a snooker.
Little tricky one though down the cushion. He's got it. Well played.
21.
The Premier League table was tight before this match. Now it's even tighter.
28.
And if O'Sullivan wins the final, he'll leave Doncaster on top of the pile.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy with his
34.
display here. He's kept Matthew at bay. 1 or 2 half chances for Matthew, but he didn't really have a chance.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 34, 29.
In 28 minutes, O'Sullivan turns a semi-final appearance into a final appearance. He beats Stevens 3-0.
Premier League snooker, confirmation of our first semi-final. Defending champion, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, whitewashing Matthew Stevens. Played very well tonight, 3 frames to 0, and as you can see, he played the winner of Junhui against Ali Carter. That final coming up a bit later on this evening, but those 3 frames for Ronnie move him up to 5th spot, and another 3 will put him on top of the tree. And he joins me now to talk about tonight's game. Well done, congratulations, a good performance.
Yeah, no, it was good. I played well there. Didn't miss much. Missed a couple of balls maybe, but I played all right. Yeah, played
Was there a game plan going into it? Because there was a couple of times, a couple of the frames where you needed more than one visit to clear up the frame. Does that frustrate you at all?
I just get used to it these days.
Because you're playing Matthews, who's a similar type of player to yourself, and when he won, I think it was week 1 when he won the Premier League, every time he got to the table he got in and cleared up. as you get older and you guys, you start missing balls. Is that something you want to change in your game? I know that you struggled recently with long shots, not so much nowadays, but do you work on different parts of your game?
Nah, I just enjoy just turning up to tournaments, having a bit of a laugh now. I don't really take it too serious, you know. Obviously I love winning and it still hurt when I lose, but I just enjoy just being on the road now, so this is just part of me travelling around and just enjoying myself.
And because it's the race to 3, how important is it to win that first frame, to win that second frame? Do you think about that when you sat in your seat?
No, you just need to play solid, consistent snooker, and you know you get the rewards. You know, you get more wins than you do loses, and you know, so that's all you can do is just be consistent and just hopefully your game is stronger than your opponents.
Does it feel like a semi-final win? Does it feel like you're in the final?
No.
Maybe it will when you win the final. Always a pleasure. Best of luck. Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. Thanks, Ron. To the Premier League snooker confirmation again of our first semi-final, defending champion, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, whitewashing Matthew Stevens. Played very well tonight, Ronnie. 3 frames to 0. And who will he play in our final a bit later on? Will it be Ding Junhui or Ali Carter? That win for Ronnie, as we saw earlier, puts him up to 5th, but Ding Junhui has already played once and Ali Carter is yet to get off the mark. So time to meet the players, as always introduced by John McDonald, and first up, it's Ali Carter.
Hello and welcome back to the Dome. We're coming to you live from Doncaster. It's the partypoker.com Premier League snooker brought to you by Matchroom Sport. We're live on Sky Sports HD. We have the 20-second shot clock. Referee Paul Collier. Time now to meet the players. Time to meet the winner of the Shanghai Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ali Carter!
Captain Ali Carter, good to see you. Week 4 of the Premier League, your first match tonight. You've been watching at home?
Yeah, I've watched the first. I watched the first one go on with Matthew winning it. So yeah, I've been at home watching it all go on.
Are you aware of the rules? Because Mark Williams had not a clue when he was playing. He even smashed, I think, a pink around the table, not understanding there was a high break prize of the evening.
All right. Yeah. I've had a little look at the rules, but yeah, just pot as many balls as you can, basically.
It's that simple. Advantage or disadvantage coming in your first match, week 4, so many other matches have taken place?
I don't know, really. I'm not really too worried about that. I'll just try and get on and play my own game and see what happens.
Your debut year in the Premier League, you've not played in it before. New format, more players, faster games. Does it suit your own game?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, it's took me a little while to get into the Premier League. Now I'm here. I hope to enjoy it and see if I can play some good stuff.
You're currently ranked 7th in the world. What are you hoping the Premier League will add to your game, Ali?
A bit of confidence and a few quid, hopefully.
And a few quid, that's the most important thing. You can win a few quid tonight. All the best. The brilliant Ali Carter, everyone. Thanks, Ali. It's all about the money. And his opponent is the wonderful Ding Junhui.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's China's #1 and the Masters champion. Would you please welcome Ding Junhui!
Who will Ronnie O'Sullivan be playing in our final a bit later on? Willie Thorne and Mike Hallett will be talking us through this one.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, second semi-final then. This year's Premier League in Doncaster. Good win for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ali Carter there in our picture. His debut this year has been mentioned in this year's Premier League snooker.
Thank you. The first frame. Ali Carter to break.
Another match to look forward to here, Willie. Two class acts. We've got a class field, of course, of all 10 players.
Yes, in fairness, these two are the most attacking players in the game. I've always been, as I said at the top of the show, a very big fan of Ding Junhui's scoring ability. And we know Ali Carter's a very, very good scorer, having made a 147 at the Crucible. It's a hard match to call this, but you'd have to favour Ding.
Ali Carter 4.
You're trying to hit the red on the way back, just missed it, but it's come far enough down the table for Ali to take this one on. Another two players that won't be concerned, I feel, with the shot clock. They get on with it.
Yeah, very quick players. Ali Carter especially, he plays very, very quickly. I think it's key as it's his first match in this tournament. Ding Junhui's already played one. He won his the semi-final game and lost in the final. But against Sean Murphy, he played some of the best snooker of the night. I think he made an 8-tier above in every frame. So I think it's key for Ali to get a good start. You know, definitely try and obviously win the first frame.
3.
Could have done with a touch more on the blue. He's got some angle there, actually, just a little. There's a red available at the back of the pack.
It looks like the red at the back of the pack might possibly pot after this red. The one at the bottom of the pack there might still be that one loose red. If there's not, you'll have to go into the mirror.
Yeah, and that looks perfect.
The little gap you can see in between the two reds on the right hand side, he wants to play the screw into that. It's hard not to lose the white when you play this kind of shot. A little unlucky there.
Yeah,
17, touching ball.
seems okay. It looks like he's still got one to the green pocket. Looks good. It looks good. Only just
18.
a touch heavier. That might have stayed there.
At first glance I thought it was hitting the left hand jaw, but the nearer it got to the pocket might, didn't it? The more and more it kept drifting in.
It ran pretty true down there. Great
25.
atmosphere here this evening at the Doncaster Dome.
26.
Ali was having a little chat to me just before he came down from the players' room, and he was a little annoyed that I'd suggested he hadn't had a great season so far, but I think in fairness to Ali's standard, he hasn't had the best start to the season.
But it's quite early doors as well, Willie, because there's so much snooker on this year, you know. Other events been put in amongst the ranking events and the league as well, and I think last year, and I think the standard has gone up. There's no doubt about that.
34.
I think there's more players that can win now as well. I mean, obviously in our day, Mike, and you're still playing competitively, but there was really only 3 or 4 players and a few will just took part. Now there's 20 players can win.
Yeah, absolutely. And this man is one of them. Oh, he's just pushed one away. He's left a red on.
Not too sure of the angle he's got on this red. We may have to just push off another red. He'll still be perfect. No, he didn't got a kick there. He got a kick. That was an awful kick. You actually saw the cue ball bounce there. That's very unlucky. Just keep an eye on this. He just pushed the red right to the... that's not necessarily... This different kind of kicks is like a bouncing kick when the white leaves the table. There's also a kick like we saw there where it just pushes the ball to the cushion. And from being almost a certainty to win the frame is now possibly a certainty to lose it.
It's frustrating for a player as well when he's in like that. In the first semi-final, we saw that Matthew Stevens didn't really have much chance against Ronnie. Ronnie was pretty dominant. A couple of half chances which he couldn't convert, but that when you're in like that and the chance to win the frame and it's not your fault, and then to end it or lose the frame, it becomes very frustrating indeed.
A little bit low on the black here, so he's going to have to play the kiss on the outside red. Oh dear, that is very unlike Ding.
Well, it was a long way away.
concentrated so hard on kissing that ball full ball, and he missed it by so far. He didn't even kiss the red full ball, he kissed it half ball.
So Ali does get another chance then.
The late great John Spencer always used to say to me, because I was one that used to hate people getting flukes, or say I had a kick or something, I think, oh, why me? But he always used to say eventually the luck will even itself out, and it very quickly did there, didn't it?
9.
Well, just look at the reds in prime position. Should win the opening frame from here. Just the start that he was looking for.
15.
You mentioned that this is his
16.
debut in this year's Party Poker Premier League, and I'm sure he wants to make a good impact.
Looks like the captain, Ali Carter, is now going to take this opening frame. He's 51 in front with 59 on, so just one more red.
22.
And he looks in good form. He's obviously been playing plenty of practice frames at his home in Essex.
23.
Looks in very good form at the moment.
$30. 31. 37. 38.
Good angle here, just to nudge the final red off that cushion or away from it. Wrong side of the red. If anything, you wanted to try and be on the red to the middle. The taff might be covered here, but 44. He can cut this to the middle.
Ali Carter 44 on the frame.
Well, Ding's had enough of this one though, so the captain then, Ali Carter, goes off to a flying miss. He needed 2 back to the cherry. He leads Junhui by frame to 0. Back to Doncaster then, as we saw in the first match. Ronnie O'Sullivan dominant over Matthew Stevens, winning that semi by 3 frames to 0. Ali Carter off to a good start here against Ding Junhui. He took the opener, he leads 1-0.
Thank you. Frame 2. Ding Junhui to break.
Yeah, Ding breaking up in frame 2, and he'll be a little bit disappointed really, because he had a great chance when Ali Carter had that kick on the red. Got in the balls and missed a very, very easy black off the spot, and in this kind of format where it's only best of 5, you just cannot afford to play a bad shot. Be interested to see what kind of form Ali's in now, because these are the kind of shots that normally he gets very, very close. One of the best long ball putters in the game, but not this time.
Well, he managed to find the gap with the cue ball. He's still left a red on here for Ding. You can just float this one in. A little bit of left hand side on the cue ball. Well, it's not quite there yet.
It's strange. I mean, you can very rarely tell what kind of form Ding's in, but his demeanour for me doesn't look quite right tonight. I don't know whether he's had a bit of travelling to do just lately, but he doesn't seem to be settled at the moment.
Fine.
Wanted a little bit more screw back on that cue ball. Another inch would have been fine, because he's going to have to dig down on the black just to play that cannon into the 2 reds just to the right of the black.
Yes, and in doing that, these are missable. Bang in the middle.
Especially when you're not used to the shot clock, as Ali's not. I just wondered where then, for the first time, that's the first time he'd heard the shot clock.
Under the cosh with the bleeps. Played it well. Good chance here.
16. 17.
Ali's another one of the great players that's worked alongside Terry Griffiths as far as the coaching is concerned. Terry Griffiths, former world champion, of course, one of the game's great players, has coached a lot of the top players. A little unlucky there that the red has come along with the white, because this would have been a straightforward
24.
shot to get onto the black. It's now difficult.
Yes, the only thing is, if he's dead straight on this red, it's not too bad. I know
Time
he's hampered
extension.
with that red. He's having to take a time extension. Well, he is fairly straight, so just has to drop this in, really. Just deliver the cue properly. Just managed to get past that with the red as well.
35.
Did well there.
Yes, I thought at the camera angle we showed you, he might just catch that red that's nearest the cue ball at the moment, but managed, as Mike mentioned, just to brush by it. And this is really a very, very good chance. And if it wasn't so early on in the match, you'd suggest it could be a frame winner. I was a little bit disappointed there, because
32.
you could tell he wanted to go for blacks there.
33.
Looks like he's cueing well, though.
Beautifully. He can't hit the ball better than he has done at the minute. He missed that long red at the opening of this frame, but when he's been in the balls, he's looked very good indeed.
$38. 39.
I mean, Ali suffered over the early part of his career. He had a little bit of illness that stopped him getting to the top of the tree, which clearly he deserves to do so. He's such a wonderful player.
44.
I'm not too sure of the problem he had, but I know it was some stomach problem, wasn't it?
Yeah, Crohn's disease it was, actually. But I think he's got it under control now. We haven't knocked him back for 2 or 3 seasons, actually, but he really has handled it very well indeed.
Yes, I know he used to be in a lot of pain sometimes when he was playing the game, but he's blessed with such a wonderful cue action. There we saw there, without the kiss on the green, that would have been perfect, but he's one of those players that's able to generate speed from not hitting the ball too
50.
hard. Gets a vast amount of top spin on the ball.
Well, if you can just pop this in and land on the black, what a chance to take the second frame. Now then, a reprieve for Ding Junhui.
His face was telling me, Mike, he felt he had a bad contact there, but I didn't detect it looking at this. He looked straight up to the commentary box there, as if to say that there's his look at he's looking at Mike and myself there in the commentary box, suggesting there was a bad contact. Didn't quite detect one from the camera angle we showed.
One.
Sure, Ding, though, glad of this chance.
As far as players go from the Far East, James Watanabe was a wonderful player, and I thought it'd be quite some time till we saw anybody better than James Watanabe, but this young man is. Okay, he's underhit that by quite a long way, but in the balls, this young man's as good as anybody I've seen.
He's the real deal, isn't he? He's the full package. But ran out of position early there. Had to play the safety. Still plenty on there for Ding Junhui, although he's 43 behind. Well, he's been tempted with reds to either corner pocket.
Both players so far have cued across the long shot. Now, how's his look? Doesn't look to be very good. This will be a very relieved Ali Carter to have got back to the table so soon, having missed that red with the rest. You would expect the scoreline to read 2-0 in about 3 minutes' time.
8. Nine.
Well, he took the red in the corner there, didn't play on the pink. He definitely played down for the blue, but pink is still on. It's a little bit more tricky here to get on to the next red. He might just have to stun off the left-hand cushion.
Yeah, probably play for the 2 reds in the same pocket, Mike, but as you rightly say, he wouldn't have wanted to be playing this shot, but he's negotiated it nicely.
No reason why he won't win this
15.
frame now. They're all there.
$16.
Well, he was looking for a good start here in his debut, and he's certainly done that.
22. $23.
Oh, Ding yet to make any significant break at all. Ali Carter's flying at the moment. This is when you're disappointed when you're playing, you're sitting in your chair knowing that you're now 2-0 behind and knowing you've had 2 very, very easy chances to score. Usually at top class snooker you're happy and you can't really make excuses for yourself. You've had a chance, and he has had chances in both frames as yet.
31.
Not made the best of them.
Yeah, this is similar to the first semi-final with Matthew and Ronnie. Similar thing there. Matthew also had a couple of half chances, couldn't convert.
38. 39. $46.
Bit of
47.
moth trouble at the minute. There's a moth flying around the lights, keeps trying to come down towards the table. It's quite a big one as well. Just disappeared for a moment.
50. $52.
Well, this is excellent from Ali. He's had breaks of 34 and 44 in winning the opening frame. Already 2 50-plus breaks in this.
55.
He's just not had a chance to get his hand on the table yet.
$59. $64.
Not a great evening so far for him.
$70.
A great start, it didn't really matter. Great start for the debutant here, Ali Carter. He leads Ding Junhui by 2 frames to 0. Ding Junhui in a little bit of trouble. Welcome back then to Doncaster and this year's Party Poker Premier League Snooker. As we've seen earlier on, Ronnie O'Sullivan, a good victory against Matthew Stevens. He needed that. Ding Junhui, though, in this second semi-final, in some trouble. And he hasn't really settled. I don't know whether he looks a little bit tired. These boys have been doing a lot of travelling in the last couple of months.
Thank you,
Ding
ladies
to
and
me looks a
gentlemen,
little
the
bit
third
tired. He
frame.
has a bit to do here.
Ali Carter to break.
Ali to get us underway in frame 3.
Yes, he resides in Sheffield, so he's not too far away as far as the travelling is concerned for this evening. But as you rightly say, they've been playing in Brazil, Australia, all over the place in the smaller ranking tournaments, and I know that Ding's travelled to those. Stuart Bingham won the tournament in Australia. Another very good player. This is one of those shots where there's a little bit of value sometimes in playing into the bunch, because you can't guarantee coming inside of the pack to get onto the black. So playing this shot at pace into the bunch, you'd be very unlucky not to be on black or pink. decided to play the shot, and this is what I was saying, you've got to be very fortunate to get perfect on the colour. He was never going to be perfect on that.
Yes, doesn't go to the middle either, so just the safety.
Ali's usually very aggressive, but the fact he's 2-0 in front may have been one of the reasons he didn't play that shot.
Perhaps the red might have been a touch thinner than he would have liked to risk opening the pack, especially when he's 2-0 the lead, and again he's got Ding on the ropes here, as Ronnie did with Matthew.
It's the test of cueing, isn't it? Oh wow. Now I don't think I've seen Ding Junhui cue a ball worse than that.
And he might have left one in the middle of the pack here to look at the replay. That was a mile away.
Well, full ball, he nearly hit it half ball.
Well, he hasn't left anything in the pack. Well, Ding got away with that one. Well, he's got to catch this one thin. It was.
It's always essential to find the top cushion when a player can get his hand on the tail. It's so easy to get back into baulk now with this safety shot. I'll be very surprised if Ali Carter doesn't play a better safety shot than Ding just did.
And he has. That's a better one though. Although you never needed to collide into the baulk colours. Well, Ali might take this red on the left-hand side because the black's available to the centre. Just one good pot where he's not interested. I thought he might take that one on there.
It's amazing, Mike, isn't it? You're like myself, been playing the game for donkeys, and of course, when you're playing those safety shots, it's amazing how big the baulk colours are, isn't it? The number of times you kiss a baulk colour is amazing.
Also, when you're playing off the blue, you're short on the blue. You don't catch them on the way in. You invariably catch them on the way out. Good shot there, though. Ding just checking the shot clock. Oh, another mistake.
Well, he's not with it, is he? He's not with it. This is very unlike Ding Junhui, one of the best players in the world, and literally he looks all at sea this evening.
Oh, he's struggling.
One.
Now how's the cue ball? Not too bad.
7. Eight. $15. 16.
1. Well, this is an excellent chance for Ali Carter now to seal this match, and what a great victory 23. It would be, 3-0. It's very important not to relax at any stage in this format, but with every 24. Point counting, because you know, if say he won the match 3-2, obviously he'd be pleased to have won the match, but of course it means that your opponent's got 2 points and you've only got 3, so it's really very important to win every match 3-0 if you can.
Yes, first time in the league as well for Ali, and a good performance this against the world number 5, who, as we've already mentioned, looks all at sea at the moment. And it doesn't look like he's going to get another chance here. It's very much looking like 3-0.
Well, you've watched Ding as long as I have, Mike. I mean, he's been a pro some 10 years or so now. I don't think I've ever seen him look so much out of sorts as this.
It didn't settle. I mean, we know that these are sprints, you know, best of fives, and you've got to get a good start, an early start, get some table time. He hasn't been able to do that.
$38. $39.
Yeah, well, I think in fairness, the reason that Ding's struggling a little bit, he just literally hasn't had any table time. He's had a couple of half chances and didn't score. He hasn't actually made a break above 20 yet. Is that a little moustache I see growing on Ding's top lip there?
46.
Bit of coaching, will he? Well, again, this has been a good performance here from Ali Carter.
52.
Considering this is his debut, it's his first time in the league, we've mentioned before, so he'll be pretty pleased with this performance. Not quite over the winning line yet in this one to put himself in the final this evening against Ronnie O'Sullivan. But both players look like they're queuing very well.
And what a match that's going to be. Both players, like you say, are queuing excellently, and it'll be one of those one chance frames against O'Sullivan and Carter. Whoever gets in first, you'd expect to win the frame the way they're both playing. So it'd be a really exciting final.
Especially if you went to the final frame with the shootout. 10-minute shootout.
Round of applause from this very, very knowledgeable Doncaster crowd will tell you that
69.
The previous black put him past the winning post, so he now is almost certain to win the match 3-0.
$75. 76. $82. 83. $90.
Dammy's done. Chance of a century here.
91.
Well, this will be the highest break of the night. He pops this one in. Oh, why did I say that? I was just about to beat Ronnie's 94, but a good victory anyway against Ding Junhui. As you said, Ding Junhui not really at the party this evening, but credit to Ali Carter. He puts himself into the final against Ronnie O'Sullivan. He wins 3-0.
Back to the partypoker.com Premier League snooker, and we have a final. The Rocket against the captain. Let's get the boys out. And first up, the wonderful Ali Carter.
Thank you and welcome back to the action, coming to you live from the Dome here in Doncaster. It's tonight's final of the PartyPoker.com Premier League Snooker, brought to you by Matchroom Sports. We are live on Sky Sports HD. Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Paul Collier. It's time now to meet the Essex boys. Firstly, would you please welcome Ali Carter!
As debuts go, that wasn't too bad, was it? What a wonderful performance.
Yeah, it was okay. You know, knocked a few in. Ding missed a few that let me in, so was happy to capitalise on these mistakes.
Do you get nerves when you're playing in front of such big crowds here?
I mean, no, not really. That's what we do it all for, to play in front of the crowds and get the fans enjoying it.
And it's such a bizarre format that we've got, that you win tonight, 3-1 will put everyone on 6 points, but more importantly for you, you win, you go top.
Oh well, that's that's all right, but it's early doors yet, I suppose. Still got three more nights to do, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Still about the money?
Not really. It's about putting the balls.
Best of luck. The wonderful Ali Carter, everyone. Thanks, Ali. Ali's opponent is defending champion, the Rocket.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is the reigning and defending Premier League champion. It's the Rocket, Ronnie
Mr. O'Sullivan, it's been such a long time since we last saw you. What have you been doing in your time off?
Just been admiring the reamness of you tonight.
It is quite ream. You're in the final. It must be difficult for you guys when you're in this format, when you've got to just sit and wait and do nothing for an hour and a half. There's no practice table backstage. Is it weird?
Oh, it's a tough life.
Should we get on with it? The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. Well, the only way is Essex, but who will be the Ream champion? Let's join our boys in the box. Willie Thorne first up.
It is ahead.
The wonderful Phil Yates.
Yes, Andy, Chigwell versus Chelmsford. Who will prevail?
The first frame, Ali Carter to break.
Both semi-finals followed a very similar pattern. Domination. Ronnie O'Sullivan outscored Matthew Stevens 241 points to 12. Ali Carter outscored Ding 294 points to 23.
Excellent long pot from Ronnie, just over around the cue ball by a couple of inches, otherwise this green would have been a certainty into the corner. Looks like he's going to have to play at least two cushions now. Try and probably cannon the one that's just above the black. If you can kiss that off two cushions, that'll hold him on two reds. This is the shot he's playing, he's got the kiss right. Or kiss the one above it, that's why it still works out okay. That's the beauty of breakdown. You've got to picture a shot just to slow the white down, and he picked that red out perfectly there. Good shot.
5.
Well, the target again is the one directly above the black. If you can hit that full ball, it's just a little bit too thin to make that. You have to probably screw it in to hit both reds to hold the white. That's what he's done, and these are now perfect.
12.
The great breadth in the game, Phil. I mean, just 2 shots ago, everything was kind of all tight and things, and he wasn't perfect on the green. 2 shots later, the balls were absolutely perfect.
When he won the first Players Tour Championship event of the season, O'Sullivan made 8 century breaks en route.
20.
Actually beat a fellow called Joe Jogger in the semi-finals, who's here tonight somewhere.
Directly behind us at the moment, Phil.
Time extension.
Looking for an extension here. In fact, they're just slightly hampered queuing. Just got to make sure he doesn't kiss into a red here when playing for the blue or bought colour. Just slightly overran this. That's the first bad shot he's played in most frames this evening. He's been pinpoint perfect. This goes without saying, is not a certainty.
Well, I don't know about you, Willie. I thought the applause there was a little bit premature. Was it on his backswing?
Oh, we may get a chance to listen to it again if we get a chance to put that shot in again. We'll try and find out whether the clap was premature.
One.
Even though he came to the table 21 points behind, Ali Carter's certainly favourite now from this position.
6.
Black will be available in both pockets very shortly. Little surprised he didn't get into that nicely. He may have been fortunate there because he may be straight enough to make this blue a lot easier than it could have been. It's a poor shot that, he's got away with it.
Time extension.
These two know each other's games inside out. Practiced a lot together.
Not yet got the cue ball under control. He's having to once again play with a lot of power to get up to the next red. The two reds above the black will pot in the right hand corner. They didn't at first glance appear to be anything on the left hand side, so may have to come on and off the cushion. Well, he's decided to bring the pink into play, and that's a good shot. A little unlucky not to have freed the pink better than he has, but
16.
if he's straight on this red to get onto black in the corner, it's in prime position. But there you can see just not quite enough. Oh dear, another kick. That's 3 kicks he's had tonight so far.
Ali Carter 16.
And the telltale sign, Willie, it just went ridiculously thick. Abnormal reaction, missed the pocket by a mile. Not his fault.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Not much scrappy snooker so far this evening, Willie. I think this is the first frame we've seen like this, low scoring, tight with a small number of reds still on the table.
Yes, both players scored very heavily in their respective matches, didn't they? Ali Carter had, I think, 4 breaks over 50 in his match. So there's not been too much safety being played, and when there has, it hasn't been good. I think he can get through to this quite clearly. Not too sure whether the pink's available in the middle. If it's not, he'll have to do a little bit of work with the cue ball. He did it really well. That was a great shot.
Well, the cushions have been very responsive tonight, haven't they? And I think on a couple of occasions it's caused the players to surrender position. On that occasion, I think it helped O'Sullivan.
We know that the pink's definitely available into the middle pocket, the left-hand middle, and after this shot it will be available into the 4 top pockets. So that one shot there, bringing the pink into play after this shot, has given Ronnie O'Sullivan a chance now to win the frame at this visit. But where's the cue ball going? What a scrappy frame this is.
Ali Carter 4.
This wasn't in the script.
Now they're the small tolerances these players play by. Had the red gone into the middle of the pocket there, the reaction on the pink wouldn't have been like that, and the cue ball wouldn't have dropped in. Under the old format, Willie, with 7 players in the league, they all had 6 matches. Under this format, they only have 4, and so consequently it's very important every time they get out there to maximise the points earned.
Well, there's been more bad safety shots in this one frame than there has been in the previous 6.
Fair to say, Willie, not the kind of frame that O'Sullivan relishes. Stephen Hendry's the same. He doesn't win many scrappy ones, very low percentage. You mentioned at the top of the programme, Willie, that all of the players in this year's Premier League are in because they won tournaments last season. In fact, Ali Carter was the first to book his place when he won the Shanghai Masters right at the start of the last campaign, defeating Jamie Burnett in the final.
Yes, it's a strange one, isn't it, not seeing people like Mark Selby in a tournament. It's Mark Selby's in great form at the moment, and of course he didn't manage to win a tournament last season. That's the reason he's not here.
Speculative, but worth a go.
Can hear people racking their brains now to think, what tournament did Jimmy White win, for instance? He actually won the World Seniors title, and that was the reason he got into the tournament. That wasn't a way into the league when I won the World Seniors.
Well, the table beginning to look slightly better. It was really awkward at one point.
It's just about the first snooker that's been played this evening, isn't it? We could get through to play the plant now. Is there a small window here? Can Ali get through to the red? I don't think so. Oh, this might be one of those. Cushion first, and he could pop this red that's nearest the pocket. He'll play it pacey. Wow, I thought that was a certainty.
And there I was saying that the table wasn't too awkward. If you look at it now, it certainly is. 3 reds together. A couple of them in the open though. Willie, when he started the semi-final tonight against Matthew Stevens, we saw the graphic. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9-time winner of this event. To win one tournament 9 times is just an extraordinary achievement.
5.
So you think this format suits him then, Bill?
Just a little. That suits him.
Well, whatever happens in this frame, Ali can't complain. He's had 2 very, very good chances to have kept the frame-winning run going.
11.
And he'll be very disappointed should he lose this frame, because he's been favourite on a couple of occasions. Scored very, very heavily against Ding. It's amazing that just little 5-minute interval in between matches has suddenly appears to have knocked him out of his stride.
Still hope, though. Unwanted kiss on the black has deprived O'Sullivan of position.
So much so he's playing a slightly more difficult escape, playing with a lot of left-hand side here to try and hit this red full ball, just to push it onto the side cushion. That's what he's done. The only thing is that, of course, you're putting yourself in trouble here, but you have to just play a containing safety shot there. Had no choice. Ali Carter should gain control here. Needs to find the cushion. It's important here to find the cushion. Make the pot very, very difficult. Just not quite there. Oh, this needs good cueing, doesn't it? Just look at that angle he's got there. Just a fraction off straight. Fortunate. Very fortunate.
Well, that was the story of the match against Matthew Stevens in many respects. When he did miss, he left nothing at all.
Time extension.
Time extension call for. One of those quintessential situations where you really need to think what you're doing. You can't take just 20 seconds and bash. Having said that, though, the vast majority of extensions are taken when a player's involved in a break and trying to think about what position to play, rather than thinking about tactics.
That was a lot better shot than it looked. He had to get a full ball contact there. He's a little unlucky if he's left this red on. Well, now you can see he can't pot that one, but he can pot the one next to the yellow, but this looks a little bit risky. So much so didn't entertain it, but where's the red going? This is a very poor shot from O'Sullivan. Really poor.
He had a kick, Willie. He had a kick. It drained all of the pace out of the white. Mind you, the red over the pocket anyway.
Well, this has been a frame that nobody's wanted to win. Both players have had 3 or 4 really good chances. Surely Ali Carter can't let this one slip. Got to play around 2 cushions with a lot of side. Well, he's decided to leave the long pot there. That does surprise me. Okay, this should be a certainty, this, but he could have got a lot closer to this red than this.
6.
And how's the cue ball?
7.
Oh, it's turned out okay now.
7 points behind now, Carter. That means
14.
he needs to pot yellow to pink.
16. 19.
He's had a couple of kicks earlier on in this frame, but doesn't look like to have cost him anything. As Phil rightly mentioned,
23.
just up to the pink needed. So certainly a frame he perhaps should have lost.
28.
He's ended up winning it.
The lengthiest frame of the evening, the tightest frame of the evening. Ali Carter has played 4 frames in this year's Premier League, and he's won them all. Welcome back to the Dome in Doncaster. A capacity crowd here, one of the reasons Ronnie O'Sullivan's involved. He won his semi-final 3-0 against Matthew Stevens, but he's 1-0 down against Ali Carter. Carter last 2 reds to pink clearance in the first frame.
The second frame. Ronnie
It's a very
O'Sullivan
scrappy
to
encounter, wasn't it, that first frame, the first scrappy frame, with the first frame of the evening where we haven't had a break above 40. 34 was the highest Charlie Carter made. Things will certainly get better.
When you talk about Ronnie O'Sullivan and his best ever performance, there are plenty to pick from. But in many respects, when he beat Carter 5-2 in the 2007 Northern Ireland Trophy at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast, that was unbeatable, because in the 5 frames he won, he made 5 century breaks.
Another test of queuing. We saw Junhui miss one of those shots by an awful long way. Ali Carter has done exactly the same, missed it by a mile. Doesn't appear at first glance to have left anything.
When you think about that, you know, Willie, to win a best of 9, 5-2 and make 5 centuries, it's preposterous. I think you made 3 centuries once in a match, didn't you, and lost?
3 centuries and a 90 and lost 5-4. Murdo MacLeod, do you remember him? Scottish. If you're listening, Murdo, I hope you're well. Never forgive you for that.
1.
Very useful fluke.
Just a fraction over a round. Okay, he can still pot the black, but the angle, the cue ball's going to be going right into the past the blue spot area, which he doesn't want. It's very hard to hold it. That cue ball has just stopped 2 inches before it did. He'd have been perfectly on that black. As it is now, end of break. This one may pot, the one at the extreme right hand side of the pack. If it does pot, he'll take it on, but we'll be playing for a baulk colour.
You know, he's been thirsting to play in the Premier League for a number of years now, and I think that shone through in the way he's played so far tonight. He's certainly taken to the shot clock like that proverbial duck to water. Over the years, one of the problems that's afflicted players who are coming into the Premier League for the first time, they see the shot clock and they tend to rush, become over quick, as it were. Carter seems to have the rhythm pretty much sorted out. The key is to play as naturally as possible.
Well, he's been very lucky there because that was a really careless safety. It was so easy there to get back into baulk, and having caught as he's just laughing at myself in the comment box, knowing that I would be bemoaning his luck. Well, he's got away with it again there because touching ball means it's very, very simple to get behind a baulk colour. It's best to play these two cushions and get the white tight on the cushion. It's not important, just for amateur players watching, it's not important to get the snooker. It's always best to find the top cushion. Force your opponent into playing a good safety. You see, that's better than getting tight behind the yellow or tight behind the brown. These pros are so good at just resting on balls off one or two cushions. At least now he has to make contact with the red. What an excellent safety shot that was. Beautiful shot. Fair reply. Pots available into either corner pocket, both of which are fraught with danger, so I don't think he'll be taking it on. Very fine shot, this one. So fine he missed it.
Foul and a miss. Ali Carter 4.
Well, with the position of the Reds here, any kind of safety misjudgment, i.e. hitting the ball too thick there, would have been very expensive indeed.
You killed off the cushion, didn't you? A bit further forward.
Discussion as to where the cue ball should be replaced on the table, and of course that doesn't eat into O'Sullivan's 20 seconds. Good safety from O'Sullivan, good safety from Carter. Worth a go, shot to nothing. Natural angle to take the cue ball back up into the safety of baulk. Good Q Sports venue, the Dome in Doncaster, Willie, over the years. We used to have the World Match Play here. Gary Wilkinson won the title and James Wattener in this venue. And we've already seen some wonderful snooker tonight as well. Former venue as well for the World Pool Masters.
Well, Ronnie's little wry smile there suggests that that cue ball moved a little bit. He was probably trying to hit it half ball the other side, and it just seemed to swing on the nap and hit it half ball the wrong side, but it doesn't at first glance to appear to have left anything too easy. I think this red will cut, but he wouldn't have any idea where the cue ball was going, so refusing to play it.
Time extension.
Very, very good. Very good. And the pink's in play as well, so after potting the blue, he'll be quickly trying to get rid of the red to the left of the pink. Not necessarily after the next shot, but that's his key red now to make this a frame winning opportunity. That's the reason he played for it first now. The pink in play, he can win the frame because the black's out of commission, so he needs that pink in play.
6.
And as quickly as that, they've got it in play.
You know, tonight
7.
could kickstart Ali Carter's season, which has begun slowly. He was a finalist in the Wuxi Classic, an invitation tournament in China. Beat Sean Murphy in the semi-finals. Lost to Mark Selby in the final 9-7. He was a teammate of Selby's in the World Cup in Thailand, but
13.
England only got to the quarter-finals. He was beaten in the last 32 of the Australian Open, the first world ranking event of the season, by Marcus Campbell. And he lost in the last 32 of the Shanghai Masters as well, 5-4 to Mark King. And of course, Carter there was the defending champion. So he needs something good to happen.
I don't feel so bad now, because we were having a little chat with Ali Carter just before he came down for his first match, and because I'd said in the top of the show, oh dear, that he hasn't had the greatest seasons yet.
Ali Carter 14.
He half had a little dig at me, but it was only in fun. But now you've read those stats out and missing that pink there, that's probably one of the reasons why he hasn't had a great start to the season.
His last tournament, the Brazil Masters, he lost 4-0 in the quarterfinals to Stephen Hendry, and actually lost his temper in the third frame. Failed to roll up behind a baulk colour. Left it short. Obviously put himself in a snooker that was intended for Hendry and just whacked at the balls indiscriminately. Unlike him, I think that was a sign of the frustration he's feeling. But if he could get 6 frames and therefore 6 points in the back tonight, he'd be feeling a whole lot better.
Black and pink now out of commission, so this is not a good chance, but another 20 or 30 points would put Ali 50 odd points in front, and where the balls are would make him strong favourite.
1.
Not bound to get onto a colour of this next red. He needs to really try and get onto the blue at an angle to come down for these reds. So it's key to get a good angle on this blue.
3.
And where the cue ball's finished, that's not guaranteed. Not bound to get onto this nicely.
4.
He's okay on the yellow or green. Would love just to get onto the red, 2 away from the black. Pot that and just flick the red away from the black. That's what he'd like to do. Now how's the weight?
2 reds, 2 yellows. The old Ted Lowe phrase comes to mind. Little fish are sweet.
What a legend, the late great Ted Lowe. Many happy hours listening to that young, well, I'm going to say young man, that gentleman commentating. Wow.
Tally card of 6.
This has been a really strange first frame and a half, hasn't it? It's almost like they're giving each other too much respect.
Well, 35 points normally, with 8 reds on the table, not significant, but it's a useful advantage, this, because they're very, very awkwardly placed, aren't they, to get any kind of fluency going.
Oh, they might not be well placed after this shot. If this red, outside red pots, well, with the rest, it's not the way I was thinking you could pot this red and move the black into play, but with the rest, it's a tough shot. But he played it. He did get the black in play, but luckily for Ali, I don't think he's left anything straightforward. Ronnie will be annoyed with himself there, catching the green. And let's see how he cues at this one. This is another tough pot. I just wonder, Phil, I mean, tables play different every time you play, but it's been very, very hot outside. It's really hot in this auditorium. I just wonder whether the cloth, the dampness, you know, is got into the cloth, because these long pots, and they're not getting very close to them at the moment. The tables can react different every time you play. Sometimes if you put a little bit of unwanted side and it pushes in, and every time the long pots have been missed thin, so the white's definitely pushing around a little bit. How's the angle on this red? Can he get onto the black in the opposite corner? Doesn't appear so.
During the course of his career, O'Sullivan has produced wonderful snooker on all kinds of tables. Really slow ones in the Far East, extraordinarily fast ones that other players find are rolling off. Publicly, at least, I don't think I've ever heard him complain about a table.
Yeah, I agree, that's a great asset, isn't it? He's never bemoaned the conditions. Well, that's opened things up, hasn't it? He thought there was plenty of value in taking the pot, because he thought it was the only red he could leave on. Luckily for Ronnie, he's brought them all into play, but not left anything simple. But at least now the frame is anybody's where the balls are.
Tap of the table with his cue from O'Sullivan, acknowledging the excellent weighted safety from Carter.
It's been an excellent exchange of safety. These last 3 or 4 shots have been played perfectly. All very similar shots, aren't they? Playing with a lot of side to swing it around 2 and 3 cushions. Unfortunately for Ronnie, just caught that one a little bit too thin.
By and large, though, this season, Willie, he's been pretty patient.
It's nice to see it, Phil, isn't it? I remember when he was working with the great Ray Reardon that he started to enjoy the safety, started to make that another task. You know, we all know he's one of the greatest of all time in the balls, and it was anything that was missing sometimes, his petulance and playing very careless safety shots. But he worked with Reardon for 1.5 years, and that, for me, was the best Ronnie had ever played during that time. But somehow, I don't know if he's working with anybody at the moment, he seems to be concentrating again on his safety. We know what a great popper he is, and that, boy, that was a great pop.
Well, I've always said if O'Sullivan's application had matched his talent, he could double the amount of titles he's won.
It's been a good night, gents. Don't spoil it now, please. Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
A couple of smart remarks from the back row and quickly admonished by Paul Collier.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
Yes, he's got to get the black in the right place here, because it's a lot easier to hit the red if the black's in the wrong place. That's why he's just making sure there. You see Ali Carter's asked for the black to be put back, and that's very, very sporting from Ali Carter, because it was so much easier where the black was. There's precious little room around the back of this black to rest on the red he wanted to. I still don't think he's got it quite right. I think there's a lot more room now around the back of the black to rest onto the red he wanted to play. Let's just have a little look at the angle this comes off at. Yeah, there was a little bit more room, wasn't there? So not quite right with the black. Good shot.
The O'Sullivan patience continues.
On a lot of occasions he'd have been playing the red in the middle field, wouldn't he? Refused it. Well, I suppose best of 5, 1-0 behind and 30 behind. You can... It's hard to take a risk, but I expected him to have a go at that one.
Let me tell you, he badly wants to be at Hopton-on-Sea at the end of November in those playoffs.
Didn't get through that nicely. I expected him to knock that one in. Concentrated so hard on holding the cue ball, just decelerated into that shot a little bit. Excellent pot. What kind of angle has he got on the brown? At first glance doesn't look great. He's just playing the safety shot. This is going to be tough to hit.
Ali Carter 1.
we could be here for a while. Just trying to rest on the one on the cushion. If he doesn't get it, it'll be replaced. Wow, that's fantastic. What a shot. Probably the shot of the night.
I would definitely agree with that. It was the judgment of the angle and the weight. Pinpoint. What a contrast tonight. We've had 45 minutes of snooker in the final so far, only one frame completed. The two semi-finals were over much quicker than this. It just goes to show what's at stake here.
If he has a good angle on the yellow, he'll take it on. If he doesn't, he'll play the snooker, so he's taking it on. Anywhere near the pink spot is fine for this next red. Now, if the two reds pot, he needs to go into the black off this red, because it's easier to get two reds and two blacks. So if those two reds are available on the left hand side, he'll be trying to get on the black. If they're not available, he can move them out. He's got the perfect angle on the black. He just plays a little cannon into the top red. It'll just bring it into play. There's the cannon. Always unlucky. I say unlucky because the white's gone on the cushion. Any other kiss would have been on both balls.
11.
One of those awkward blind cutbacks coming up. So easy on this to overcut. Good part, and with these flying cushions, he's done well to actually hold the cue ball this side of the baulk line.
Yes, two cushion on the green. He'll be nicely on the red into the right hand corner. And if he gets on it nicely, you'd expect him to level at 1-all. And this has been really a very, very good tactical frame. OK, there's been lots of balls missed, but the safety in this frame has been superb. It just shows you when
60.
O'Sullivan adapts himself to all conditions, he's really is tough to beat.
Carter will be hoping that the brown's a stumbling block.
23.
Low scoring frame. O'Sullivan needs yellow to blue.
25.
It was only a 34 break that took Ali Carter to the first frame. He's going to struggle to get more than that here as well. And if this
28.
is dead straight, he's going to struggle to get on the blue. Just a slight angle. There is 11 points in front. Just this blue.
The clearance, numerically nothing to write home about, but the way it was compiled, out of the top draw. Needing one snooker though, Carter will definitely carry on.
37.
Given the way they played in the semi-finals, Willie, who would have thought that? Here we are in the tail end of the second frame and the highest break of the final, 37.
It's half a chance here for Ali to get cue ball in behind the black, but the pink will be going very close to a pocket. Well, he's played it slow enough to not do that, but he had a good angle there to get in behind the black, not quite worked.
That is just so unlucky from Ali Carter. An unwanted fluke after playing what was an outstanding snooker. It's one frame each. Well, what an unusual way to finish the frame off. Now then, here we are. The fixtures coming up for the rest of the partypoker.com Premier League of 2011. This is evening number 4. Next up, it's Western-super-Mare, where Judd Trump finally gets involved in the tournament. Down in his home West Country against Mark Williams. John Higgins and Matthew Stevens also involved. Stoke-on-Trent, Exeter, Southampton, Banbury and Grimsby also host qualifying nights before we have the semi-final and final playoffs at Hopton-on-Sea in Norfolk on the 26th and 27th of November. Tickets available for all of the evenings coming up, and what an array of talent, Willie.
It is a fantastic array, isn't it? And it's the first time the league's had 10 players. The interesting 2 players, of course, this year coming into the tournament is definitely Judd Trump and the gentleman we're watching this evening, Ali Carter. They're 2 of the greatest, well, finest young talents in the game. And to the last shot he played in the previous frame, that was an unbelievable snooker he played. And how unlucky was it for the black to disappear? He quite conceivably could have been breaking off 2-0 in front, because it would have been a tough snooker to hit. As it is, it's all to play for at 1-all.
Well, O'Sullivan chanced his arm, and it could be costly.
Yes, he can see this red and quite easily get onto the black, so this is an excellent opportunity for Ali to get a sizable lead in this frame. The way he was playing early on tonight in his match against Junhui, I'd have suggested a frame winning chance, but not the way they're playing so far in this final.
Eight. Nine.
Well, there you see him queuing down on the ball, so he's going to try and hit the red just above the black if he can. Well, maybe there's a red pot somewhere that we can't see from here. There's one up in the balk area, of course. I was just looking at these reds down
16.
this end. Is that white to travel? He wanted to be on the brown half ball, and he is. So this is a very aggressive shot, just before the middle pocket, into them at pace with the left-hand side. There is one red at the back of the pack if he wants to play on it, 2 cushions, but there's so much value playing into them here. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky.
$21. Ali Carter 21.
Andy Goldstein made the point at the start of this match that if Carter were to win the final by 3 frames to 1, we'd have 6 players tied at the top of the table on 6 points. I think it's going to be very tight as to who qualifies for the playoffs. A lot more calculations will have to go on than under the old format, which was complex enough in itself. I'll tell you what, Willie, Ronnie O'Sullivan not playing spectacularly, but he's playing properly.
Yes, we've witnessed many occasions where he didn't seem to want to compete. Okay, in the break building game he always competes, but sometimes when it's a little bit scrappy, like it has been in these 3 frames, he's tended to play very, very quickly, but he seems to want to play every shot perfectly this evening.
Further evidence that O'Sullivan means business.
Time extension.
There's not a straightforward safety shot here. You can certainly see this red, and if Ronnie O'Sullivan normally, if he leaves the red on the top cushion, will take it on. I'm just wondering if he plays a containing safety shot here, which he is doing, Ronnie might take this one on the cushion, because he loves this kind of shot. Well, he's played that very nicely. I'm sure there's a red available in the middle, but fraught with danger. More like watching a Griffiths-Thorburn match, this, isn't it? It's been very tactical.
Now you've been told about exaggerating, Willie. Griffiths and Thorburn played the latest ever match at the Crucible. It finished at 3:51 AM. And that was the match in which Cliff made the 147.
One.
Great shot that. A test of your memory, Phil. Was it 13-12?
It was indeed.
That was a great pot from O'Sullivan. Having been kept off the table for quite some time, it's amazing how hard they are. You can lose your cue action a little bit when playing a bout of safety. But he appears to be in the balls now. Not guaranteed to get onto the black off this red, so he may play for another colour. Would pot in the opposite corner, so these balls are now in prime position for an O'Sullivan frame-winning break.
Everyone says Ronnie O'Sullivan's as good left-handed as he is right. That's not true. But
16.
being ambidextrous really does come in handy for that kind of shot.
17.
Well, I would think it probably wins him 40 frames a year, being, you know, that he may not win, being such a good player left-handed, and of course at the level O'Sullivan already plays, that's an awful lot of frames in a season.
If he plays shots exclusively left-handed, I think sometimes it costs him 40 frames as well. Just needs to use it as and when, not all the time. You know, it was in this tournament, the first time he ever did it, against Peter Ebden in the semi-finals. And Ebden was not best pleased.
Well, I'll quickly tell you the quick story while Ronnie O'Sullivan looks like clearing up. I was commentating on frames 5 to 9 in that match, and as I came down from the hotel to commentate, everybody's ashing and saying that Ronnie O'Sullivan's played every shot left-handed. I thought, well, I'm going to go in the commentary box and I'm going to kind of, you know, tell O'Sullivan off on commentary for being unsporting. The first frame after the interview, he made 134. He made 90 in the next, 80 in the next, and I ended up saying, well, it's very, very good left-handed.
Perhaps he should have played that one left-handed. Clumsy, unlike him. But recovered well.
41.
This is quickly going back to that match. That's when we weren't aware of how good O'Sullivan was. Against Robidoux early on in the World Championship, everybody was saying it was ungentlemanly conduct. He quickly showed us that he's an exceptional talent, both left and right-handed.
Against Robidoux, though, he went one step further,
45.
didn't he? Played a few shots one-handed.
46.
Allah wasn't best pleased there either. I think they became friends eventually, though.
Very quickly, this has now become the highest break of the match so far, and just at the right time.
53.
So that
54.
red puts him 37 in front, so he's going to need 2 more reds and colours.
$59.
Cracking shot, especially with the frame on the line there.
It's amazing how little things change matches. I go back to the previous frame when Ali Carter did the snooker. He played the snooker perfectly. Unfortunately, the pink went off 2 cushions into the middle pocket, and since then, he's not really had a good chance.
And in that frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan reminded himself that in snooker, patience really is a virtue. He was 1-0 down, now though, he's 2 on ahead. Ronnie O'Sullivan's visit to Doncaster so far going according to plan. He won his semi-final 3-0 against Matthew Stevens. He's 2 on ahead against Ali Carter. 1 more frame needed.
Thank you.
And it will be mission accomplished in South
Ronnie
Yorkshire.
O'Sullivan to break.
Yes, he came into tonight 7th in the league. He'll quickly move up 6 places, I believe. This cue ball is very short. So O'Sullivan has developed the first chance from that miss from Ali Carter.
Catch that near jaw, you can kiss it goodnight. Remember, if Carter can win this frame and take it to 2 frames each, we then have a 10-minute shootout, like we have at Blackpool. Coming up in January, the shootout, all the frames of that duration. Tournament I'm really looking forward to.
What amazed me about the 1-frame shootout tournament, hopefully we'll have a few more 1-frame shootouts in this league, Phil, but the standard, there were so many centuries and so many 60-plus breaks in 1 frame, it was incredible.
Just about squeezed past the green. Not bad at all.
Foul. Ali Carter 4.
The 4 points inconsequential, but if O'Sullivan can knock in this lengthy red, if he indeed goes for it, it could lead to big things. But given his mindset so far, Willie, there is an if there. Oh, well done. Well done. They've both been very careful. Carter was even careful in the way he played that.
Ali Carter 1.
Yeah, but how good did he hit it? Most players would have struggled to get past the baulk line there. Ali Carter's blessed with a wonderful cue action. And in some ways, he's a little unlucky not to have had a pot of the colour, which is what he would have really loved to have done. Make a good attempt at rolling up behind the green, and a few seconds ago after that long red, he was in a chance of scoring a few. Now he's got to play a good safety. Well, he hasn't played it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Sometimes going in off like that, at least it takes the cue ball away from the reds, but when one goes over a pocket like this, not recommended. Oh.
1.
Purchase on the white. Good position. Will he win it from here, Willie?
Well, at first glance they look lovely, don't they? But every red seems to be kind of covering one another. The pink, when it's potted, will have to go on the blue spot, which takes that out of commission slightly. The black's only available into one pocket at this moment in time. So, okay, yes, he could develop this into a frame and match winning chance, but he's got a lot of work to do yet.
9.
Now, it just depends whether the pink will spot or whether it goes on to its high spot available, which is the blue. We'll know in a few seconds' time. Oh, that looks a bit careless.
15.
If he's not got a good angle on this red, this is end of break. Well, it's not the best, is it? May have to play the red on the pink spot here to keep the break going.
Time extension.
This is not a good angle on this red. I think the one on the pink spot will pot, and he can get top side of the pink for the blue in the middle. Yeah, still needs pot in this one. Oh, an excellent shot. Has he gone far enough? He wishes he had, because this yellow is a tough shot, especially with the action he needs to get on the cue ball. That's why he's taking the brown, the more difficult brown, swinging it around 1 or 2 cushions. Three shots on the trot went wrong there.
20.
That's what happens, isn't it, in a break when you lose position? It's a sort of knock-on effect. Again, though, playing it tight,
20.
playing it sensible.
Oh, that looked cuttable, that red, Phil, didn't it? It looked like he got plenty of room to get round the back of the black, so he could have played it as a shot to nothing. He really is digging deep this evening.
Time extension.
2 extensions allowed per frame, of course, and Carter and O'Sullivan have taken 1 each so far in this frame. Well, the second time tonight in this match that Carter has fluked a red to that top left-hand pocket.
Ali Carter 1.
And on a table that's running as fast as this, to roll it behind the brown like that is no easy feat.
Got to be a little careful in playing this shot. He misses the kiss on the pink. He plays with lots of sides, so he just has to miss the kiss. See how close he got to the pink there, but he's played it well.
Just avoided the in-off. Can't help but think, Willie, had he been as circumspect as this in many matches over the years, wow, his trophy cabinet would have been twice the size.
I just wonder how long it'll last, Phil. I think he looks a lot better player when he's competing in both departments, the safety and the break building.
Sullivan 4.
I think Ali Carter may have put that cue ball into a position where there's nothing straightforward here. May have it replaced.
After avoiding risk all frame, all match, why should O'Sullivan take an unnecessary risk? An unnecessary risk now. Get the cue ball back.
Can he get it right the second time? Has he got the same jaw? He has got the same jaw. Has he finished in exactly the same place? I think he has. That is incredible. I don't think in the history of the game I've ever seen that. The same shot, the same jaw, and virtually the same pace.
Where's Bill Murray? Groundhog Day.
If I have to call a miss, you lose the frame, okay?
Now, of course, if Carter fails to make contact with the Reds because he can see them directly, it will be frame and match to O'Sullivan.
So this safety is going to be played a lot thicker. Are you kidding? Frame and match over, unless this hits a red.
Foul and a miss for frame and a match.
Just unbelievable. What a way to win a match. What a way to win a final. O'Sullivan prevails by 3 frames to 1. Carter, 3 strikes, and he was out.
A very strange way to win the final. I don't think we've seen that. I just heard Willie Thumb say in all his years of watching snooker, he's never seen anything quite like that, and neither have I. Here's confirmation of all our matches tonight. The Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan started off the evening very well indeed. Didn't drop a frame against Matthew Stevens, winning by 3 frames to 0. And then the second semi-final, Ding Junhui didn't perform anywhere like he did last week. Didn't even get on the score sheet. I think he made a total of 23 points in total, 9 in the first and 14 in the second. Ali Carter winning 3 frames to 0, and we've just seen the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan win his first Premier League title, if you like, of the season, 3-1, beating Ali Carter. And this is how the Premier League table now looks. Defending champion, the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, I suppose in his own mind, exactly where he should be, top of the Premier League, and he's looking good for another title on that sort of form. Ronnie, a strange way to end it. I mean, obviously it meant ball in hand and Ali assumed that you wouldn't miss from there, but we'll talk about that in just a sec. Up to that moment, pleased with your form?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was on the back foot the whole game. You know, Ali had me in trouble and I was just trying to stay in the game. I was always a shot behind and just trying to contain and hope for a chance. And I've done a good clearance to go 1-0, and even still, you know, I was struggling to stay with him because he was bossing me about. But you know, any result I get there, you know, I'm delighted. You know, I'm number 16 in the world. I think people forget that.
13, I think he's 13 at the moment. But let me ask you, we've seen you so many times getting the ball, smash them open and clear up time and time again. But I also get the impression sometimes when we have frames like you see when you're tucked up behind the baulk line, you come off 2 cushions and just touch onto it. Sometimes I get the impression you enjoy frames like that as much as smashing all the balls open and clearing up.
Well, I wouldn't say I smash all the balls open. I say I sort of know what I'm doing when I'm going into the reds, you know, and there's a bit of skill involved. But, you know, I can play all types of games. But, you know, like I say, you know, I'm up for none now. I'm well down the rankings. I'm 13 in the world, and you know, any match I get a win, I'm going to enjoy it now. You know, because there's no point. You know, I'm on a decline whether I like it or not. So I might as well enjoy it and have a bit of fun. And if I get a result, happy days.
Do you take confidence from matches like this with you into the next match? Does it mean something to you?
Tomorrow I can be playing the worst snooker ever, so I don't kind of get carried away with it. Like I said, I'm just happy to get a win, and you know, as long as I can keep coming and playing in tournaments, have a bit of fun, and just it's good to be on the road.
Always a pleasure. Congratulations. The winner of tonight's Premier League, Ronnie O'Sullivan.